And we're here to talk about the new project, basically, really the new band for all of us, how we feel. And debut record just released a couple weeks ago. We're on the heels of that. And one thing that I think is really cool is the night of the album release, you got to play, what was it, the opening show at the Globe Iron in Cleveland in your home city, man. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, it was the opening night, day one, brand new venue. They've been working on it for months. And yeah, we were the first headliner in that club, which is legendary because I know just from, AEG owning it and the crew that's involved in running it, I know that in a short time that's going to be a legendary staple in our community. Similar to, I don't know if you've ever heard of Peabody's back
Yep.
in the day, that was like just the legendary club. I mean, it's really some of the same crew involved with AEG, of course, now, but it's going to be a legendary staple in Cleveland. So to be day one of that, Mushroom Head being day two right after us, it's just insane. A huge honor. And honestly, huge thank you to Chris Zitabar all for that one.
And Mushroom had to follow you guys.
Yeah,
So
we were day one, they were day two.
man, yeah, and that's kicking it off with a bang, man, because like you said, there's so many like iconic great venues in Cleveland. Was it the Agora is another one that a lot of people is a go-to venue there. I think it's the Agora, is that the name of it?
Yeah, and that's correct. It's actually the same people. So
Oh,
AEG
nice.
owns the Agora, Jacobs Pavilion, and Nautica, actually.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, the debut's been out for a couple weeks now, ready for war. And now that it's been out for a few weeks, you've been able to see the response to it, been able to digest it now that it's out. Looking back on the process of making that record, what do you think it said about you guys as artists? Because you guys have known each other for a very long time, and it's your
Yeah.
first time really making music. So, what was the experience like in the process? You know?
Well, it's not our first time making music together. We've been in other bands before.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've
Okay.
made music together.
Okay.
Uh, but knowing Chris for, over half my life,
Yeah.
it was easy. It's just like hanging out with your homie, man. And each song took a different shape each day. Um, lots of different feeling went into each different song. That's why you kind of hear the sort of different sounds throughout the
Yeah.
album. But it also goes back to how the name sort of started with how we feel is, each song is basically how we were feeling that day.
Nice. Yeah, man, that's one thing that stands out is like the record really keeps you on your toes. Like you can't it's hard to like zone out listening to the record because every song is completely different. You could have just straight rock, then some blues, then some soul, then some metal. And it's just like so many different styles. It's a really eclectic record, and every song kind of has its own identity. And then you guys switch it up and hit us with some of the most sinister growls I've ever fucking heard on Dragging Me Under, and that came out of nowhere. Like it's a really fun song, really fun album, man.
Thank you so much for that, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, talk a little bit about how important that is, though, to each song sounding different, feeling different, kind of blending. I hate the word genres, but like blending genres into one really just gumbo of an album.
Well, for me, I think we achieved exactly what we want because sort of one
Yeah.
of my pet peeves with music or, in general is like, what genre is it or what style is it? To me,
Yeah.
music, you like it or not, like
Mhm.
it's your thing or not. So I hate trying to fit into a box, like
Yeah.
we are, I was in bands before where it was like deathcore, and you just like had to be in this sort of like genre box. And
Yeah.
I always liked all sorts of types of music. You could catch me listening to just about anything these days.
Mhm.
So it was super important to me, and I think Chris as well, to just incorporate all of the things we like and not try to fit ourselves into sort of a box and just make music that we like and can relate
Yeah.
to.
It really reminds me like a Warped Tour back in the day because like there was no set genre to that tour. Like one stage is ska, another was punk. This is hardcore. That's
Yeah,
mainstream. That and I feel
absolutely.
like yeah, I feel like nowadays like there's less boundaries when it comes to like genres. And like you look at a festival like Sonic Temple or Incarceration and Louder Than Life, and you'll have like a Good Charlotte playing on the same day as like Guar and then like Shinedown later that day. And I feel like in 2025, there's less, I want to say, discrimination when it comes to genres and what people like. It's just all blending together into just rock and music now.
I love that. To me, that's the perfect world.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I was listening to Octane this morning, and like Good Charlotte was on Rockville, and then later on that night was Rob Zombie, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this is the way it should always be,
percent.
it's yes. Um, but what really stands out to you about the record now compared to when you guys sat down to start writing it? Because obviously you may, as an artist, may have a vision, and when the album is all said and done, maybe it's a little different than you set out for, but what really stands out to you about the record now?
100%. I think that's always the case. And it's always, I know with artists, it's always this weird fine line of where do you call it? Where is the song finished? What
Yeah.
is the end point? And at some point you kind of just have to draw the line. But is it exactly what you always attend? I think almost never it comes out like that, but you just sort of accept what it is and then, and put it out over, instead of kind of overcooking it or overdoing it, just um but to me, I think for the most part, I think it really came out how we wanted. Um bringing in the people we did to write with us and produce with us, it was really a dream come true in the end. So I'm just really thankful for the whole thing, thankful for everyone that worked with us on it. And I think it came out good. I think we have a
It
good record on our
It
hands.
really did. I think your guys' musical journey together is really interesting. Like you guys have been friends for over 2 decades now, and you guys have played some music, been in a couple bands in the past. But then Chris gets signed to Metal Blade really fucking young, start, playing
Yeah.
with these other huge bands. What is, I guess, your guys' musical journey together, and then watch him have that experience. How did that affect how we feel really turned into?
Well, it's really cool because we were friends back then when he was in
Mhm.
Forever and Tear. And it was awesome to see that success and then to learn from that success. Because there was obviously mistakes made and growing progress as being a new band back then. And um it I think that was probably the starting point of learning the business for myself, but mostly Chris, obviously being in the band. I think that was probably the starting point for his mind of, I could own a record label, I could own a management company and really start learning the business. I think that was kind of the pivotal point for him. And then for me, just being around for that, is when we started the company CB Entertainment together. We started booking concerts, local concerts, at a local venue together. And yeah, it just allowed us to sort of learn the business at a
Mhm.
young age, I think. So it's extremely pivotal, I'd say.
I feel like it also like you have a really unique experience with that because you have been on both ends of the spectrum when it comes to music business. And
Hmm.
a lot of bands really have that luxury, like I know that I work for a local pro wrestling company here in Indianapolis. We ran a massive show back in Royal Rumble weekend back in January, and they
Sick.
had it was sick. We had almost 1,000 people at our show, and
Nice.
our owner was like, I want you to do whatever you do with music and do like the publicist thing, get press. I'm like, okay. And so like I got to play tour manager at the show and be the guy that brings the media people in, shows them where to go and all that. And I'm like, for me, it was like all of the experiences I've had on my side of things now, that's affected how I handle myself and treat people on this end of things as well. So I would think maybe for you guys, the experiences you've had on both ends affects how you carry yourselves and work with how we feel and how you handle yourselves on the business end as well, because you've seen both sides. You know how you don't want to be treated. You've seen how people get treated and all that stuff. And it really, does it kind of help mold the way you handle things now?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Um, that's how not that we've gotten a bunch of success by any means, but we've really only been out, a few weeks with this album.
Yeah.
So I think that has allowed us to get a lot further in these couple of weeks than we have in previous bands. That's for sure. The knowledge of the industry is key. I personally sort of got out of the industry eight, 8 or 9 years ago. I spent almost 10 years booking live concerts.
Mhm.
Then I got out of it and started another business with my wife.
Right.
And we just, for the last, actually, it's been almost 11 years now, my wife and I own smoke shops. So we were
Nice.
just doing that. And then, I just always loved music. So I just really wanted to make an album I would say just that I was proud of, that I could show my kids and be like, hey, check this out. Dad does this other thing, where I play drums too.
Right.
Um, because they never even got to see that side of me, having two young kids. So I think we've already achieved the goal. And then from here, it's just kind of all bonus. Like I just want to, it's just really fun. It's the only thing that can really just kind of clear my mind, and just like get an escape from other business and life, and
Mhm.
just yeah, so I think just super happy with it all.
As the drummer, as a drummer, it's all about obviously rhythm and, beat. Like there's a couple songs on this record I feel like would be a lot more fun for you to play than a few others. Like Dangerous is a song that I think is really fun to listen to. But
That's
are there
awesome.
any songs on the record that as the drummer are just I really want to play those live because it's just so much more fun. You can really get into it as opposed to Looking for a Reason, which is a fun song, but it's a ballad, so it's a little bit slower for you.
Right. Looking for Reasons fun, but you nailed it with Dangerous. That is by far yeah, I think Dangerous has got to be my one of my favorites to play live. It's just fun, just a fun, dancey, groovy song. It's not overly complicated, but at the same time, the beats are just fun and groovy,
Yeah,
It's a good
right.
one. Dangerous is definitely in the top of my favorites to play live. Um, Dragging Me Under is fun because of the heavy, we've come from
Yeah,
heavy bands our whole life, so like that
right.
sort of that side of us came through in the studio, even though I feel like when we started, we weren't necessarily after the heavy. It just comes out in us, I guess. You
Right.
know, can't get away from it, I guess.
You just can't. It's always there, man. It's
Yeah,
always there. Yeah.
especially for me, heavy drums, it's just fun to play. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, they're all good. And oddly, the song "Fire" is another one that's just a fun song to play on drums for me. Real easy, not hard, and not like you don't have to think about anything while you're doing it. It just flows. It's just a good rock song and
Right.
fun to kind of do some stick flips and just extra fun stuff for that song. And
Right. Man, the intro to Devil Inside is a lot of fun, man. I don't know why, but for me it has like a early to mid 2000s hip hop vibe. The intro
yeah,
to the song does. Is that what you guys had in mind with that one? Because like I almost got crunk in my office. Oh God, that dated me right there, dude. Oh man. But you know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
almost threw down at my desk in my office. Is that what you guys had in mind with that?
I don't know if we had any too much in mind, really. With that, it just
Right.
seemed fitting. I think
Right.
it's just the drums, but just that little digital intro and post
Yeah.
production. I would give all credit to Paul Bartholomew there.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is Chris the only vocalist that there is? Like all the cleans and the uncleans, the clean vocals and the screaming. Is that all him?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, dude. What's it
Yep.
like sitting behind the kid watching him just go from like beautiful, just like smooth vocals to like, holy fuck, this is nightmares, you know? Like,
Oh, it's always a pleasure, dude. And even more fun it was in the studio, just listening to him track the album. And we built our own studio, and then half of it was my workspace for my other business, and the other half was for the band. And while he was tracking the album, I was just doing my normal store work for the most part, but always just listening to him going, "What the fuck? How is he? How do you hit that?" Like he'll do these parts where it's like extreme high note singing and then it's like, Jesus, dude, how do you do that? But I
it's
love it. Yeah, it's great.
it's so much fun to listen to, especially on that sound. Like, yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah. He
Like, yeah.
absolutely kills it.
Yeah, it got me going, man. What was it like working with Ted Jensen? Like that his resume, man, is fucking insane. But
Yeah.
what did he bring to the table? How'd you guys get connected to him?
Well, I think it just started from the initial sort of game plan of the album. We drew up in our, planning this out, who we want to work with, and Ted was the obvious first choice, and he said yes. It was it's honestly mind-blowing and a dream come true for both of us. We never thought in a million years that we would have our album mastered by the guy who did Hotel California, from the Eagles, or, Leonard Skinner to Bring Me the Horizon, like everything in between, all of the major records, it seems like, has gone through Sterling Sound. So it just seemed like the most obvious first choice. And we were lucky enough and fortunate enough that our schedule aligned with his, and he said yes. And I think he added really the most perfect polished touch to that record. Um, I would say our final mix with Johnny and Paul, it was great. It was good, but Ted just really pushed it over that final mark there where it just was, was exactly what it needed.
Right? One thing I think is really cool is you guys are doing Incarceration in July.
Yeah, that's our second live show.
That's fucking insane, man. Like that's your set. Have you been to the festival? I mean, home state, not far from Cleveland, you know.
Yeah,
Have you
so
been to?
actually, this would have been our, I want to say, fifth year, possibly sixth year. I think this would have been our fifth year stage managing one of the stages on that festival.
Okay.
So
Okay.
instead of working this year, we're playing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So it's always been a dream ever since we started working that festival. It was always like, man, I just want to play this.
yeah.
Want to play. Working's amazing. I love the crew. I love everyone there. It's a blast. Even working, it's fun. It's not even about money for me. I just love to do it.
Yeah.
But playing it, right? Like that's where you're like, well, that's where really the dream is, right? So
Yeah.
we just made it happen. We
That's
worked really hard until it was reality, I would say.
eh, your second show. Like it's one thing
Yeah.
to play the fest, but your second show.
Yeah,
Like,
first show was opening night of Glob Iron, opening up an AEG venue, night
yeah.
one for them and night one for us. And then Incarceration is number two. And I'll tell you, number three is pretty cool also. I can't announce it yet. It's not out. But
Oh,
number three is gonna be pretty neat too.
oh, that's awesome. So tell me what the feeling is like. You and Chris are backstage at the Globe. You're about to take the stage. What's that energy like for you guys as you guys are about to set foot on that stage? Lights go down, and you realize it's fucking on.
Electric. It was insanity. It was insane for a lot of reasons. But I mean, just nervous, honestly. I'd say Chris and I both. I would say nervous, but excited, because over neither of us had been on stage in over 10 years, probably. So
Right.
it it definitely was nervous to walk on stage and then set a bar, right? Our goal is to set
Mhm.
a bar. with full production, the full, the geysers, the lights, everything we could do. Um, and then the nerves, I think, mostly came from because it was AEG's opening night of Globe Iron. We also had talent buyers from all the other regional states,
Oh
other,
shit.
other venue owners.
Oh
I mean, it was a big deal for a
yeah.
lot of people coming to see that not only our first show, but Globe's
Mhm.
opening night, So the nerves
Yeah.
were there, I think, from that of just like, now's the time. Don't
Yeah.
fuck, you know?
Right. And it's the first show. Something's always
Yeah,
going to go wrong on that first show.
something's always wrong.
It's going to
Yeah,
happen, you know?
exactly.
You know, it's just going to
Yeah.
happen. But dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I
but
love
we did it. It went great. I think there was overall through the whole night, there was around 700 people through the door.
nice.
Um, I think when we played, it was like well over five, close to 600 people there. So it was like,
Nice.
it was sick, dude, for a first
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
We pulled it
that's
off. We
amazing.
did good. Um, Next show, Incarceration.
Little more than 500 to 700 people. A little bit more.
That one is obviously there won't be, this many there when we play earlier in the day, but they're looking I think like 25 to 27,000 per day at
Oh,
that.
yeah. No, it's God, I went to that. I covered that in 2019. The first year that it was, I think it was the first or second year that it was Ink. And it was the year that Five Fingers, Shine Down, and Godsmack all headlined. And it was
Yeah.
fucking insane. Like, just unreal. And the fact
I-
that it's at that prison too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like it's probably my
The
favorite festival.
setting, everything, just the vibe is right for that festival.
So cool.
It's got
Yeah.
something special that I mean, honestly, I think it's got something more special than the other DWP
Oh
festivals
yeah,
like
it really does.
On
Yeah.
and Louder Than Life, Rockville. Those are all great, but something about Ink, it's got its own sort of vibe and energy to it.
Yeah. It really does. And I love that you can do like a self-guided tour through the prison while like, like fucking like non-point is playing you're inside the prison at the same time.
Yeah.
Like too is like it's nuts. Never had an
Yeah.
experience like that before. It's wild. Like
Yeah.
tell me about making the video for Ready to War, because Ready for War, sorry, Ready for War. Tell me about making the
Yeah.
video for that, man, because I love when a music video tells a story and it's a little more cinematic instead of just watching the dudes play which those are fine too. Those are cool, but like when there's a story and it's cinematic, it's a lot more fun to watch. And this video that's exactly what this is.
Thank you for that. That was mostly me as far as storyline of wanting to tell that story. And then our really good friend Jared Chris helped us sort of put that to life. He's really good with just, vision through the lens, I would say. So Jared
Mhm.
and Jake um directed most of it. I wrote sort of the we'll call it a script, I guess, even though, they weren't, you don't hear what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as like all of the scenes, what I want to see in the shot came from me. And then Jared and Jake and myself, of course, on set to just sort of direct the actors and kind of show the emotion per song. You know what I mean? Obviously,
Mhm.
you're not hearing what they're saying, but they're just showing the emotion, And I think everyone just sort of collaborated together and did a really good job of
Mhm.
um, bringing that vision to life.
Yeah, for one, it's shot really, really well. The camera work is great. The effects, like the cinematography, is really fucking good.
Thanks,
Uh,
man. Yeah, Jake's a beast. Jake Cole, he did all the actual filming,
uh,
and yeah, Jake and Jared on the directing, and me, of course. But yeah, Jake's a beast. He's done all the videos so far, all the music videos.
really fucking good. Don't let him go. Keep him around.
There might just be another one coming.
I'm in. I'm in. Uh,
Wink, wink.
when it's all said and done, man, 2025 is the year how we feel. The record is out. Shows are going strong, man. What's the rest of 2025 look like for you guys? You said there's a massive show coming, assuming playing with like AC/DC or something. Get up.
Not that massive, not that massive, but there is a cool thing we have for the third show and fourth show, but I can't announce those two yet
Right.
for the year. But honestly, I think 2026 is going to be the year for how we feel. Um, with, whether that be next year's festivals or new music or whatever we're cooking up for the next year. I think that's the year where you really start to see how we feel make a stance in the scene.
I love that. Finally, uh, you guys, friends for 2 decades, made music together in the past. The record's out now. The band is going strong. Finally, man, what does this band and this record mean for you guys having it out to the public? And it's finally here and it's happening.
Well, like I said before, man, my main goal is to make us something that we're proud of, and I think we did it. I think we've achieved that. So to me, that's everything. We have an album that, like I said, when I can show my kids and say, listen, check this out. And it's something I'm actually proud of. And they're dancing around the house singing the songs, at 4 and 7 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
That's it for me. Like I've already made it in my eyes. Like we're good.
Yep.
Obviously, we are gonna continue to push and try to and really find some big success with this band. But just having it out, man, we've reached the goal. I'm happy. I'm thrilled. People are digging it. It's all good, man. We're stoked on it.
One of my favorite things about being a parent is like my kids are 4, and 13. And our 4-year-old twins, anytime we turn on to the TV and go to YouTube, my picture pops up because it's my profile. Daddy's on the TV. Daddy's on the TV. So
Yep.
like I don't know how about for you, but like seeing my kids just react to seeing something I do on the TV at all, it just makes it so much more worth it, man. Like
There's nothing else better. You've
it's
already made it. You're a rock star.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
all that matters. Yeah, it's all good.
That's awesome, man. Dude, congratulations on such a great record and what a
Thanks, man.
hell of a start to your band's career, man. Like it doesn't get bigger than it doesn't get any bigger first two shows than you guys have already, man. Congratulations on everything you guys have just gotten so far, everything that's coming your way. The record is something to definitely be proud of. And if people watching, listening haven't heard it, it's available on Spotify. Where else can people find the record? You guys.
Literally everywhere, man. Literally any streaming platform that you listen to, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Deezer, whatever, it's on there. Videos are on YouTube. All the songs are on YouTube. Like me, I'm a YouTube guy. I YouTube premium my music, and if you're
Mhm.
like me, it's on there. If you like Spotify, that's your thing, it's on there. Um,
That's awesome.
Apple, all of it, iTunes, everything. So
It's impossible not to hear the record, basically, is what you're saying. It's
yeah, yeah.
impossible to not hear unless you don't have internet. You'll hear the record somewhere. So,
If you don't have internet, get a CD. We got physical CDs.
yes,
You know,
yes.
we got it
Thank
all.
you. Thank
So
you.